Good morning, farm friends. How are you this chilly Saturday morning? Me and the geese are hanging out. Look at that. Ice cream here is letting me know she's ready for breakfast. And so is Bob over here. Well, Ice Cream, I think, actually is a male. We think so. And Bob over here is a female. So they're ready for some breakfast, and so I'm out here to take care of a couple of morning chores this morning. We're going to try something a little bit different this morning. I wanted to take y'all along as I do morning chores, or just a few of them anyways, and then do some morning green stalk gardening together up on the porch. But because our Wi-Fi doesn't reach far enough out here, I am going to tape video just a little bit of these morning chores and throw it into our live feed so that you can go with me out here. I can still be on the chat with you while we're watching this together, and then we'll do some gardening together live when this short video of morning chores finishes. And that gives everybody a chance who's on Facebook and YouTube to see that we've gone live and go ahead and jump on. So let's feed these chickens. How about it? Oh my goodness, we got this blue rooster right here, goat, no, that's not goat, that's a different one, is trying to get this hen right here to be his special friend, and she's not having it. So but let's see here. So the way that we feed our free-ranging flock out here, and most of our chickens are free range, but they do stay in separate areas a lot of the time. And coming up in the spring, when we're ready for breeding season, and when we are getting hatching eggs and chicks ready to be sold, we will separate certain groups into breeding runs and different areas of the farm so that we can guarantee that the chicks and the hatching eggs are exactly what folks ordered. But for now, we've got everybody in these free-ranging groups, and this free-ranging group is the one that free-ranges out by the pond. And what we like to feed our birds while they're free-ranging, and we may change the protein levels and that sort of thing in the feed mix during the breeding season. But this is what we like to feed them while they're free-ranging. Let me turn the camera around. This is a mix of layer pellets. That's what these are. Those are layer pellets that are about 16% protein by volume, and which is good by itself for a lot of chickens. But we have noticed that our chickens need a little bit extra, especially while they're free ranging, because they're so active. And so while they do get some bugs and yummy growing treats out here, plants and stuff, we like to supplement. So there's some corn in this 11-way scratch that we mix in, some sunflower seeds, all sorts of little lentils and that sort of thing. So that way these free-ranging birds do get a little bit extra that we make sure that they get, just in case they're not finding exactly what they need out here in terms of nutrition. We want to make sure that they're covered, so we give them a little bit extra there with that 11-way scratch mixed into their layer pellets. So I mentioned that it's not breeding season right now, but they still need layer pellets because they are still laying eggs. We primarily, almost all of our chickens, in fact, are heavy laying breeds, which means that they lay around 200 eggs at a minimum a year. I can't really think of a breed that we have right now that isn't at least 200 to 180 eggs a year. In fact, a lot of our chickens are higher than that. We'll get 250 a year or so from a lot of our chickens. The lowest lay rate that we have is our black copper Marans. Sorry, I messed up and hit my button wrong. But the slower layers are these Marans right here. That's a good example of a black copper Maran right there. And they don't lay quite as much as our others do. I'd have to look it up for sure, but if I were guessing, I would say that the black copper Marans probably lay 160 to 180 a year. And we don't have a whole lot of those. So that's why I was saying primarily most of our breeds lay more than that. But they lay those really pretty extra dark chocolate eggs. And so that's why we have them around, is because we like those dark chocolate looking eggs. But also with our Easter eggers and our olive eggers, they add a darkness and richness to the color of those eggs. And so that's really the reason we have those black copper Marans around, even though they aren't as heavy layers as the other. All right, so I got the birds set here with their breakfast. Let's walk over and check on the goats. I'll give y'all an update on the hay that we got, because the hay that we went and got last week, if y'all saw our video on Tuesday, we said it was hay day, because I went and picked up a bunch of hay last week and a whole trailer full and brought it, and Eleanor and I made a hay fort out of it in the barn. And unfortunately, it looks like that's what we're going to be using that hay for a while, because the goats just didn't like it. So let's go around, we'll go see the goats, and I'll show you what I mean. We've been trying to figure out, Jacqueline went and got a kind of a sample bale yesterday. She went down the street a little ways and found somebody that a lot of folks in our community buy hay from, and bought a single bale of hay, a single square bale, to test out with our goats. And so we are trying to do that now, and we should know in the next couple of days if they'll eat that person's hay. We didn't realize that goats can be picky with hay, and so we kind of thought, well, the goats will eat whatever hay we get for them. As long as it's good, healthy hay, we should be fine. But they told us pretty quickly that that wasn't the way it was going to be. And as y'all know, as the weather gets colder, we're trying to put a little bit more weight on our goats, just because it'll make us feel better. They're going to be okay exactly as is. They're kind of a, like I said, they're going to be good as is, but we want to put a little bit of extra weight on them if we can, moving into these colder months. And because of the way that goats warm their body and maintain body temperature, they need constant access to hay, especially at night, because the way that their body heats itself up is they digest. Oh, hey, Gravy, how are you? This hay. So, over here is the hay they didn't like. Hold on, let me turn the camera around. Over here is the hay that they didn't like. It's kind of extra woody, and it's got a lot of, for a whole day, and that had us here and them not eating it. So what we did was we got right here and put the new hay on this side. That was the old hay that we had been feeding them, and none of the hay, probably really hungry and cold probably. So they started eating the old hay. So we figured out we're on our second attempt of getting new hay, and it's still pretty thick. still pretty thick here. You can see that the kind of woody, reedy looking stuff right here. I'm hoping that they do okay with this. I think he likes it okay, but I think that the true test for us is going to be Willow. I think Willow is going to be the pickiest. Oh, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. I think Willow is going to be the pickiest of them when it comes to hay. So, yes, I see you, sweet boy. Thank you for the loves. Yeah. Oh, I see you too, Biscuit. Yeah. So, what I'm going to do today is just kind of leave this mix out here, and hopefully they'll eat it down some, because there's 3 different batches of hay mixed into this particular batch here in this hay feeder. We've got the newest hay in here, the oldest hay in the middle and kind of on top, and then the hay that they really didn't like over here on the side. And so hopefully they'll eat some of this down, because I think I'm gonna have to pull all of it out to test and see if they like the newest hay later today, but that'll be okay. Let me turn the camera around. Well, I said I was turning the camera around. I gotta show you this real quick first. In the hay feeder, that is I think, nope, that's a duck egg. Okay, so a duck laid that. It's still kind of warm, so I think a duck probably did that overnight. That's so funny. I figured that was going to be the white leghorn's egg, because the white leghorn spends a lot of time out here, but nope, it's a duck. Turn the camera around real quick. So really feeding the free-range flock, we've got some stuff going on off farm today. We've got some holiday, some Christmas celebrations going on with our families. Excuse me, Gravy. Gonna let me out. And so we'll be on and off farm today. And so where a lot of our feeding actually happens in the evening times, I did want to make sure that we got everybody fed this morning before I start doing anything else. So everybody's good. Everybody's still got feed. And so we'll be good to head out for a little bit, and we'll check on everybody in between family stuff today. So I want to go up and do some gardening with you, and I'll do more like talking back and forth with folks during that in the chat. So if you haven't already joined in with chatting, please do let us know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer those. And up until this point, I may have answered some in the chat, but I won't have answered like this, because this was the kind of intro to our live, trying something new today. Like I said earlier, this has been a kind of a pre-taped front part of a live, so that means that I'm available in the chat but not available to talk real time. But I'm switching over here now so that we can do some gardening together, and so that I can be available to talk to you real time. So let's head up here to the back porch. A few plants that I want to make sure and get into my green stock before the next time it rains in a few days. So let's do that now. Here we go. Well, good morning, folks. How are y'all doing? I wanted to make sure that we had some time to go around and see everything this morning before we hung out. I got Eleanor here with me, helping me out. We're going to do a little bit of gardening up here. We've already got some folks hanging out in the chat this morning, and a few questions that we're going to answer now. So before I was showing you the black copper marrons, and people were asking about those chocolate colored eggs that I was talking about. Let's see here. Nana's Little Loves asked, when do we separate the chickens for breeding? So we will be doing that probably midway through January or so. That way we have plenty of time to give the chickens a couple of weeks to make sure that they're breeding, and also to make sure that we can do our own hatching tests to test for fertility and hatch rate. So that's important to us that we do that before we start sending out hatching eggs, to make sure that by the time that we are shipping out those hatching eggs, we know that they're fertile and that folks will have a good hatch rate, or as good hatch rate as possible. That was a good question. Thank you, Nana's Little Loves. Let's see here. Maybe it was over on Facebook. I saw one. Yes, Rita says, do those chocolate eggs taste different? And no, they don't. Although, if you ask egg experts, they'll tell you that the black copper Marron was bred to have those really dark eggs, but also for the egg to taste very rich. And so some culinary experts swear that those eggs are better, and those eggs are supposed to be the best tasting eggs in the world. And the late Queen of England actually only ate black copper Marron's eggs, or at least that's the kind of legend that we've heard as it goes. Sorry if that camera's moving just a little bit, y'all. It might be a little shaky because Eleanor's walking around the porch with me. But yeah. Also, it looks like Facebook is having a little bit of a harder time keeping the feed strong. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. YouTube seems to be doing a little bit better, so hang in there. Facebook, if it gets too bad and you want to jump over on YouTube, you can do that. Just search for Head Family Farm and you'll find us. But we sure appreciate you being with us this morning. Let's see if we've got any other questions.
Daddy.
Yes, baby girl. Oh, yes. Those are some cucumber seeds
But they've already
that got spilled on the porch this fall.
What?
Let's see here. Facts Matter says the chicken party is coming. Yes, no joke. This farm will be chicken party central here in the next month or so. And we are excited for that. Because we love having happy chickens, and we love being able to spread those chickens around.
And hold them.
And hold them, yes.
And I love to cuddle them. Can I tell them you need to watch Lovely Little Farm?
You can tell them that you like that show.
Tell
them over there.
This is a great show to watch. Lovely Little Farm, it is a great show. And it's two little girls, and they have a farm, and one's named Jackie, and what's the other one's name?
Jill.
So Jackie, she loves chickens, and Jill, she's teaching Jackie to hold chickens the right way. And they're about the same age, I think.
Yeah, I think Jill is the big sister.
Yeah.
And so she teaches Jackie how to do farm stuff.
But, yeah, and then...
Yeah, so
Jill.
Eleanor, this is Eleanor. Sorry about that, baby girl. I didn't mean to cut you off. Eleanor has a new favorite show on Apple TV Plus, and it's called Lovely Little Farm. And that's what we've been watching in the mornings before school, isn't it?
Yes. It's a great show, and also they're both big sisters now because they have a little
because
they
had a little baby brother. All right, so Eleanor, what do you think we're going to be doing this morning? If you look around and see what all is out here.
Planting strawberries?
Yes, we are going to be planting some strawberries. Now, I have a confession to make. I do that often, right? I make confessions. But this morning I wanted to make a confession that I actually had to order 2 trays of strawberry plugs from Haas just to get 1 tray's worth planted. Oh, cool. Yeah, let's show them that in just a second. So I had to order 2 trays because the first tray, I just didn't take very good care of it. I thought they were toast. And so I ordered a second tray, And this is what I was able to get to spring back, nursing back to health, that first tray. And like I said, it was completely my fault. It wasn't anything to do with Haas. They sent me some awesome plants that were in great shape. In fact, you can see they were strong enough for over half of them to bounce back, even after I just completely neglected them for a good month or so. And they had closed up their pre-sale, and they put something on Facebook one day and they said, quick, we've got 10 flats of strawberries left. First 10 folks to call will get them. And so I called and got another flat of strawberries, and I'm really glad I did. They're doing great back here in these green stalks. Maybe you can see the little green patches here up against that terracotta color. We are going to plant 4 more of these green stalk sections with our strawberry plugs today and stack them on top of these 2 green stalks, so 2 on each one. These are the leaf size green stalk, which you can get in a 7 tier. The regular green stalk, we have it over there out of frame, is 5 tiers, and so I wanted to do the 7 tier because I knew that it would do really well with strawberries because they don't need a whole lot of root space. This is going to give them the perfect amount of root space, I think, and I think it's going to be great, perfect for our strawberries. And check the chat real quick. So that's why we did that with those green stalks. We love our green stalks, and if you feel like you gotta have one, gotta order one today, we've got an Amazon store link in the descriptions of these videos that you can go to and order. It'll be the same cost to you, and we'll get a small commission. Our Amazon commissions are itty bitty compared to our other commissions, but we're just happy to do anything like that. But here's the thing: if you are also friends with our friends over at Cog Hill Farm, hold off until Monday. I can't say anything else, but if you're friends with our friends at Cog Hill Farm, hold off until Monday. I am personally going to be waiting until Monday to buy, I think 2, excuse me, 2 more green stalks. Like I said, can't go into details about that. Just a quick word to the wise that if you're in the market for a green stalk or 2 or a bunch, wait until Monday. Pay attention to your social medias, and especially Cog Hill Farm. And if you're not on the Cog Hill Farm email list, you should get on that too. The Cog Squad keeps informed that way. But anyways, they're good friends of ours. We love them and are excited about all the things that they're doing and what they've got coming up. Jerry over on Facebook says, love the Cog Squad. That's right, we do too. They are, the folks over on the Cog Hill 40 are very special to us and have been such wonderful friends to us. And so we love to repay that favor as often as we can. But anyways, let's plant some strawberries. But first, Eleanor has been doing something cool over here with our standard size green stalk. I'm going to be taking, let's see, I've got rosemary in there, and I've got some thyme in there. I'm going to be taking all of that out and putting it into a raised planter to get through the winter with. And I'm going to replant that standard size green stalk. I'm kind of on the fence about what I'm going to plant in there. It may be a little late to plant most things because it is starting to get really cold. Next week we're supposed to drop down into the teens for the first time this winter. It's projected to get down to 18 degrees around here, so we have some winter proofing to do on the farm. All right, Eleanor, come show us what you've been up to.
I've got a lot of them.
She's got a lot of them. So, Eleanor and I planted this standard size green stalk.
I don't know if you can see, but this is a carrot.
Yes, that's a carrot. It's got a bunch of roots on it. I don't know how good they're going to taste because we planted them in late March, I think. And
this is exciting to see one.
That is exciting to see.
It grew really good.
It did grow pretty well, yeah.
And after I show you, I'm still going to be over there picking the
You're
whole
going to pick some
down
more
there.
after this?
Yeah, because
Yeah, we got some little baby ones there too.
I
How
had
cute
to,
is that?
It was time to pick them out, so.
Yep. So we've got, let's see, how many carrots do you think this is, Eleanor?
I kind of feel bad. I kind of feel bad for doing this to the small ones, but it was time to take them out.
Yeah, it's really past time for us to have taken them out. And so our carrots did not do great. I want to say that this is a variety that's supposed to make those small carrots. I just can't remember what variety it was, but I want to say they're supposed to be those finger length carrots like they are. And so I think they did okay for where they were. I'm not seeing too many that like are, they got to a certain point and couldn't get any further, so the soil was fluffy enough for them. Well, I know we didn't feed it the way that they needed to be fed, and they were in that green
This is
stalk.
not a finger length.
No, that one's bigger. Well, it's about finger length, right?
It's bigger.
Yep.
We probably wouldn't eat that part.
If y'all see me going over here, I'm just checking in on the chats to see if we have any questions or comments or anything. I see Miss Tracy has joined us over on YouTube. Hey Tracy, it's good to see you, or know that you're there. We can't wait to see you here in a couple of weeks. We're gonna go hang out with Tracy and Jean here pretty soon. But always great to see Tracy out there.
Is this?
Huh?
Is this?
Is what?
Is this?
No, this is one of our shirts. Eleanor is wearing a Cultivate Gratitude shirt. It's her sweatshirt, and I love that shirt. Jacqueline made that design kind of as a gift for me after I put out a video of me working in the garden and talking about how that's what we do. That's what I like to do in the garden, is kind of cultivate that gratitude. And so Jacqueline made that design for me, and if you want to check out that design, we've got it on sweatshirts, t-shirts, all sorts of stuff,
Also,
aprons, coffee mugs.
We also have another, there's one that it all starts with 3 chickens.
It all started with 3 chickens. Yep, I like that one too. But Eleanor asked if that was one of Miss Tracy's designs that she has on her website. It's not, but she does have some great stuff over there. That's on justdigitfarms.com, I believe. Tracy, let me know if I got that wrong. I shouldn't get that wrong since Jacqueline has been working with Tracy on her site. But I think that's where it is. And she's got some pretty great stuff over there. And if you are not hanging out with Tracy and Jean on a regular basis on Just Dig It Farms on Facebook and YouTube, you're missing out, and there's going to be some really awesome stuff coming in the new year that we are excited to see from our friend Tracy and our friend Jean. So make sure you do that. What you looking at, baby girl? You looking at the dirt on me?
No, Dad. I think I'm gonna continue pulling.
You want to keep pulling carrots?
But I'm noticing there's a lot of bug on them, so
That's okay.
I might stop.
I think these carrot tops, we could give these carrot tops to Mopsy the bunny.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And she would love that, I bet. But I'm going to get started on our strawberries so that we don't get too far behind. You want to do strawberries too?
It might warm up my hands because that right there, I'm working really...
Are your hands getting cold?
Yes.
Well, put them in your pockets, baby girl. Warm them up some.
I know.
And if you need to go in to warm up some, you can. Will you please let Lady outside for me?
Yeah, she might need to go to the bathroom.
I think she probably does. Thank you so much. Alrighty. Okay, no questions in the comments yet, so we're going to dive right in. I've got a towel here. You may have seen me wiping my hands some because I have to clean up the dirt off my hands before I touch the laptop. But so I'm going to grab our first green stalk tier here that I'm going to put strawberries in. And like I said, we've already got 10 tiers of strawberries planted that have done well, and those were the fresh Haas strawberry plugs that I put in. These are the ones that I messed up, but they sprung back, and I really think that's because they came from Haas that they were able to spring back. They did really well. If you don't know, we are affiliates of Haas, but The reason that I get all of my stuff from Haas is not because we're affiliates. Frankly, I could get certain things cheaper from other places, but the reason that I go through Haas is because I have a lot of confidence in what they do, and we have been using Haas products significantly longer than we've been affiliates. So if you would like to check out their stuff, there's a link in the description. If you use that link and wind up buying anything, we do get a commission at no extra cost to you. But mostly, we just love the folks over at Haas, don't we, Eleanor? Greg and Sheila are awesome folks. We've had a great time every time we've gotten to hang out with them and even talk to them back and forth online or on the phone. They're some of our friends that we like to support. And so, yeah, let's plant some strawberries. So these plugs are going to be a little bit smaller than the ones that I planted already because they're still bouncing back a little bit. Yes, baby girl.
These strawberries were shaking, so I did this, and it's not shaking really much.
Oh, yeah?
I have to hold them.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take each strawberry plug and just kind of rub the bottom. And that's just kind of going to break away the root ball a little bit. Any roots that may have started growing back up since I left them in this plug tray for so long, they're going to kind of spring down or break off so that they can grow down once we plant them here in the green stock. Yep, there you go, baby girl. Good job.
It's not working. Oh, do you like pinch the bottom?
Yep. Here you go. You want to put that in on one of the spots and I'll rub this one for you?
I guess I'll put it right here.
Oh, you're going to go ahead and bury it? Okay. Just bury it right up to the top of that soil that it's already in. Good job.
There we go.
All right, we're going to put that right there.
I'll go ahead and bury it.
If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about so far or anything else on the farm or just us in general, feel free to put them in the comments, and as we plant here, we'll address those questions.
Dad can answer them.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll be able to answer some of them. I make no claims to be even a very good gardener. I'm not a great gardener. I am learning. And but I am an avid researcher. So I can tell you about what I've heard and read and that sort of thing. Anything that I tell you, it's because I had a question and I asked that question. So I am all about folks asking questions. So let me know if there's anything that you want to find out if we know and can answer. And if we don't, I'll be glad to tell you who might know for you. Let's see, how you doing? Oh, that's a really good one. All right, put that one right over here. Let's go ahead and plant this one.
I can plant each one.
You want to plant? Okay. I am going to go, let's go a little bit deeper than that one did. Okay. There we go. See how it's got, yeah, that's perfect. See how it's got that resting top right there where it's already been stopping?
Over here to do it?
Sure, you can come over here and do the others.
I'll take them out so I can dig.
And so we are just planting these right up to the top of the soil of their plugs.
That's a good hole. I scoot you in there. There you go.
Let's see here.
You're better
now. Linda says we're very blurry on Facebook. Sorry about that, Linda. We've had some connectivity issues specifically with Facebook today. I haven't noticed them as much on YouTube.
My mom might be watching something.
That's true. She might. Jacqueline is being more active inside, so she may have something turned on in there.
Like
So, she says she's not watching anything. So, maybe that's not it. Anyways. Oh, Tracy, thank you. Tracy at Just Dig It Farms says, I think y'all are awesome gardeners. I think that we have a lot of fun when we garden. And so if that's the measure of success, which I think it's a pretty good indicator of success, if that's the measure of success with gardening, then yes, we certainly have lots of fun, and it gives us an opportunity to spend more time together. This isn't exactly what most folks would be doing with a 6-year-old on a Saturday morning, but you know, it's what we like to do, and we got to do it together. Yes, ma'am.
How come cold can burn your fingers?
That's a good question.
Owie, 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 it's hurting.
It's hurting. Well, why don't you go inside and warm up for a little bit, baby girl? You can come back out and be with us again in a minute. Let me turn off your microphone real quick, though, so that we don't hear what all you're saying. Eleanor, come here, baby girl. Let me turn your microphone off real quick. We're going to go inside. We don't need to catch an Eleanor potty break on a microphone, do we? No. All right.
I also just.
There we go.
I also just went so.
Yep. Okay. Well, go hang out inside, get warmed up, and if you want to come back out and hang out with us, Eleanor, you're more than welcome to. All right, so we got our first flat done here, so I'm going to show you real quick what the structure of the green stalk. Sorry, y'all, I've got a little bit of congestion this morning. You got it, girlfriend. All right. Well, take it in with you so that it stays warm. So if you put your jacket back on, it'll already be warm inside for you, okay? Let's see here. Facts Matter says 5 by 5. I've got it on top chat again. I'm sorry, y'all. Here we go. I thought I might be missing some stuff in between. But yeah, Facts Matter says 5 by 5. Let me know what you mean there, Facts Matter. Because I'm not sure. That's over on YouTube. All right, so I'm going to show you the structure of our green stalks so far. The way that you build up a green stalk is you've got this first one on the bottom. The bottom tier of these green stalks looks exactly like this, just with bigger strawberry plants in it. And you fill it with dirt up to the line. There's a fill line in here. Here you go, baby girl. Eleanor wants the carrots, so I'm going to take those over to her real quick. Here you go. So you fill it up to the fill line with your soil, and I'm using this this compost mix that I got at one of the big box stores, and it works really well so far that I can tell. So I filled that up, I put in my plants, and I like to plant before I stack it with most things. There are some things that if I'm not sure if it's going to work space-wise, I will go ahead and stack it and then plant. But with these little ones, I know that they'll fit. I've already done several. I know right where to plant them to make sure that they line up right. So I'm going to go ahead and plant these like this. And so you're going to put this is a little watering tray, and you put that right in the middle. It fits over this cone that comes up to the top in the middle of your tray there. And you put that on there, and that just makes it ready for you to stack another layer on it. And so when the layer up here gets full and completely watered, it pours through this little cone in the middle down into this tray on the level below it. And this tray has holes in it all the way around on the bottom, and so it self-waters the rest of the way down. Now, I don't exclusively water through the self-watering mechanism on the green stalks. I like to water each pot and put some at the top, especially if I'm fertilizing with water-soluble fertilizer. I'm going to make sure and water each little pocket. I'm not just going to use the top one because I want to make sure that it gets evenly distributed. Everything gets the right amount. So I'm going to take this over here. This is the top of the green stalk, which is where you fill up with water. It's got some leaves in it. You fill that up with water up to the fill line, and it waters. It goes down through these into the rest of the layers. But I'm going to take this off because this is going to be our new top layer. It used to be the top layer, but it's now our second layer. I'm going to bring this top layer over, and I'm just going to sit it right down, stack it right on top. They stack in kind of an alternating way so that that pot is not directly over any of the other pots, so everything has room to grow. And so we've added one layer to this one, and we're going to do that one more time over here. So this is actually going to come off again. So I'll go ahead and take that off and put another water disc up here, because we are going to add one more layer to this one. We're going to add 2 more layers to that one over there. So I'll take this one off too. Y'all, I mentioned Haas Tools earlier and how good their plants are, and how I basically abused and neglected these strawberries. I did the same thing with these Tom multiplying onions that I harvested a month ago or so, and they're still doing okay. Despite being out in ridiculous amounts of rain, not in any soil, you can see they were still growing. And so, you know, this is a little bit of a waste. I'm probably going to plant these in the raised planter that I put my rosemary and thyme in. That's what I've been holding these out for. But just so you know, I have already given about 200 of these away, not just for planting, mostly for eating. I've already given like 200 of these away. I only planted 14 bunches, or 14 onions last summer, or earlier this summer, I should say. And I had hundreds of these things grow. So they are super prolific, super strong. They came from Haas Tools, so I know that they're going to be great plants. I'm going to go ahead and put these under my planting table, so I know they're not going to get as much of the brunt of the weather coming up as they might otherwise. Let's see here, checking in just to make sure. Yep, no questions. Okay, cool. So I'm going to put this top down here so I can keep going planting. I am so excited about these strawberries, and I'm hoping we'll be harvesting next summer. Does that sound about right for folks that have done strawberries before? I know we're in a warmer climate than a lot of folks are that may have done strawberries, so we may be harvesting a little bit earlier. But if that sounds about right, I think that's when we're going to be early summer, harvesting these strawberries, and we're going to overwinter them, as you can see, and they should do really well being overwintered. This didn't sit just right. I think I need to dig down just a little bit with my watering disc. And so we'll overwinter these strawberries. Those root systems will keep growing on the strawberries. And that's really what the goal of overwintering them is to make sure that those roots grow. Hey, baby girl. Yeah. It's really warm out there. Yeah. Well, they're not going to be able to hear you right now because your microphone is on your jacket that you left inside. So if you want them to be able to hear you, go grab that, okay? You don't want them to? Okay, that's fine. Why don't you get the rest of the carrots for us, or do you want to keep planting the strawberries with me? Let's see here. We've got more folks jumping in. Hello, good morning. It's great to see you here. Miss Barbara says she's joining from Virginia. It's good to see you. We've got folks joining this live feed from all over the world today. I just think that's so cool. Never in my life would I have thought that on a random Saturday morning, we would be hanging out with folks from all over the world. So it's so good to be with you this morning. Yeah, Eleanor says, yeah, that is crazy. But we see lots of folks from different areas of Europe, and Australia is one that we've got a few farm friends over there, and of course north of us in Canada, and all over the United States. I just think that's super cool.
Yay. Whoever's in Australia that's watching, tell them to hug a koala for me.
Eleanor says, if there's anybody from Australia watching, please hug a koala for me. She says they're her favorite creatures in Australia. I don't know that hugging a koala is super wise. Maybe one you know is healthy and nice. But yes, she does love koalas.
And also, I need people to watch
Oh yes, Eleanor likes Izzy's Koala World on Netflix, and it's a show about a little girl whose family runs a koala rescue, and so that's right up Eleanor's alley. Being able to watch a little girl be able to be so helpful on that koala rescue.
Not really little.
Eleanor says she's not really little. Well, I think she can't be more than 11 years old or so.
She has to be 11.
So she's not little to you, but she's little to us, I think, to most of the folks we're talking with right now.
She can't be little.
She's kind of little. How about that? She's young. Well, is that okay to say she's young?
I remember when the koala got in her pants and go to the bathroom on her. Did you remember?
Uh-oh, Jerry Miles says they're having trouble finding it on YouTube. I will copy the link for you real quick. The folks on Facebook are saying they're still having stopping and starting issues. So I just put a link to the YouTube video in the chat if you want to hop over there and see if it's any better for you. I'm sorry about those connectivity issues. It's kind of random for us around here. And we've seen the crews, they have put the fiber optic lines in, the really high speed lines in down our road that our house is on, but they haven't opened it up for service just yet. So I'm hopeful, very hopeful, that sometime in the next year maybe we'll be able to switch to that, and I hope that will get rid of those issues for all of us, because we like hanging out with y'all, especially live. It's so much fun to be able to talk to y'all real time. In the chat, Eleanor says yes. You like the lives, Eleanor?
Yes, and
She says yes, and
sometimes I do not like to wear the microphone on.
and sometimes she doesn't like to be mic'd on lives. I understand, baby girl.
I like the square one up here.
And Eleanor, for the most part, is never. We never force her to be in videos or on lives or anything. If she doesn't want to be in a video, she's not in a video. Is that right, Eleanor?
If you need me in a video, I'm like, why do I have to be in it?
Yeah, sometimes she asks if she really needs to be in a video. And if we say that it would be better for her to be in the video, typically she will be in the video with us. But we try not to lean on her on that any. We like to let her be her own person as much as we can. So we, of course, have so much fun doing stuff together, and that's what you're seeing. Sorry for that squeak. That's what you're seeing in the videos most of the time.
Sometimes at school, I cry because I want to be here with
Yeah.
and here with our friends.
Yeah, if you can't hear Eleanor, she's saying sometimes when she's at school, she misses being on the farm so much she cries a little bit. And that's true. That's something that absolutely does happen. As all of us have, all of us are pretty, but we are all homebodies now. We would much rather be here. Let's see here. Yes, Tracy just got fiber internet recently, and she says it's awesome. I'm jealous. I hope we get that fiber internet sometime soon. Yeah, we just finished this one. I'm about to pull up another one, and then we're going to see what people are saying while you plant some, okay? Should we do it? Should we finish off this one, or should we put it on that one so that there's only one for each one? Because if we put it on this one, we get to cap it off and be done with this green stalk and just work on that one. But if we put it over there, then it's even. What do you think? Do it on this one? Okay. Now that we've been live here on the porch, at the beginning of the video, I did something a little bit different at the beginning of our live where this is kind of a hybrid live where I queued up a video of me doing some morning chores and talking directly to you guys on there. So if you didn't see that, after the live is over, give it a few minutes for it to load, and go check that out if you're interested in what kind of stuff I did this morning. I fed the chickens breakfast, excuse me, and the geese were after me to get them breakfast. And then I gave an update about our hay situation because it has become a situation.
Because this guy gave us some rectangle bales. And they were the wrong kind of hay.
Eleanor is still on that square hay bales are not actually square. So square bales are, what are they, Eleanor? Rectangles is what Eleanor says those square bales are, and she doesn't know why we call them square, which I think is funny and smart and not wrong.
I know my shape.
That's right, you know your shapes.
Because I do it on my own school already.
Yep.
And if you have a homeschool kid, it's okay if you don't have already. It's a really good way to help people learn.
Okay, so Eleanor says that one good way to learn is with the program iReady, which is something that she does at school.
It's really good for kids' minds.
All right, let's look at this real quick, baby girl. Let's readjust this one. So try and get them close to the edge here. Okay, and remember we want to get the dirt all the way up to that flat spot where the top of the dirt is that they were in their tray in. Okay? Yeah, you're doing awesome. We just want to make sure that we get right up to the top of that dirt.
These breaks still hurting.
Oh, you got to take a break. She got to take a break because her hands are cold. It is significantly colder than we are used to here right now. I think we're in the 40s right now. I can't remember.
The farther it gets in the day, the warmer it gets.
Yep. The later we go in the day, the warmer it'll get. But I think our high today is only like 52. And that is cold for Alabama, y'all. 52 is when we're breaking out the bomber jackets. So we get we start feeling that cold when it gets down into the, really, if you're walking around in Alabama and it's 60 something degrees, you're not going to see many t-shirts, not many bare forearms out there. Most of the time folks are going to be in jackets or sweaters or at least a long sleeve t-shirt. That's just the way we are. Eleanor's waving at me through the window inside. She just went in to warm up for a minute. So when it gets down into the 40s like this morning, we are feeling it. And it may have actually been in the 30s when we first started the feed, but I think now we're probably up in the 40s. But I said earlier, we're supposed to get down pretty cold over the next couple of weeks. I think next week we're supposed to get down to around 18 degrees. So not looking forward to that. We are making sure this weekend and the first couple of days of this week that we've got all of the animals set up to handle that cold front coming in. And most of our animals, it's not really an issue for them to have a night where it gets down to 20 degrees or so. Most of our animals are cold hardy enough for that without really having to worry about it. But we do want to make sure that they've got warmer spaces and are less likely to feel as cold as it is outside of their enclosures. So we're going to make sure and take care of them, especially the goats. It'll be the first time we've had goats with the really cold weather, and so we'll be extra protective of them as we're learning about goat care. Eleanor said she wanted to finish. Oh yeah, we already finished that one off. So I'm going to do this one next. Got some leaves that have caught here. So we've had a few folks ask if we're prepared for the colder weather next week, and we are, for the most part. We do have a couple more things that we want to do, but as is right now, things are good for that weather, whether we do anything else or not. But we're going to do a little bit extra because we really do try and be as proactive as we can, and not just do what the animals need, but we like for them to be as comfortable as possible. So we're going to take care of that. Let's see here. Sherry on YouTube says that she is from Ringgold, Georgia, south of Chattanooga. We love that area, by the way. I'm going to come back and talk about that in just a second. Very interested in the strawberries. Just planted a green stalk for the first time. worried about overwintering, I'll be watching to see how yours are doing. If you are really worried about the overwintering stuff with a green stock, they do have frost covers that can help take a little bit of that bite off in terms of the cold. And so if you feel like you need something extra, they do sell frost covers that are specifically made for green stalks. Don't tell the folks at Greenstock or any of their affiliates that I said this, but honestly, if you want to, you could probably get a thick tarp and put it over it and wrap it in bungee cords or string or something like that, and just kind of take that off during the day so that your plants can get light every now and then. But strawberries are supposed to be able to handle it. So even if you're worried about it, I would say, yeah, keep a close eye on it, but I think you're probably going to be all right with that. Let's see here. Let me check and make sure before I get started on this next one that nobody had anything else they wanted to talk about. Alrighty, and just as a reminder, if you ever want to talk about something on our lives, put it in the comments, and if it's something that we're prepared to talk about, we will. And because we love to chat with you guys. All right, this one needs a little bit more of this compost mixture, and we did a video a while back about a raised bed that we got sent to review. And we showed how we filled it with a variety of mediums to save some money, really. And so we layered it. We almost did a lasagna method, but it wasn't that involved. Really what we did was we put some fallen limbs in the bottom of that bed that were thick. And then we put in some old spent hay and filled about halfway up with that spent hay. And then I filled the rest up with this compost mixture. But the reason I was talking about that video in particular was I explained in that video why we're using this bagged compost mixture. One thing about that is that we don't have any heavy machinery here on the farm. We do not have a tractor or anything like that. In fact, right now, we don't even have a lawnmower that's working, which is okay because it's winter. We don't really need a lawnmower to mow the grass, but something that we have used lawnmowers for in the past, especially our little John Deere lawn tractor, is almost like a mini tractor. And so, but all that to say, we don't have any heavy equipment around here. So the bagged options give us a way to be able to carry the stuff easily around to different locations on the farm. And also, we frankly do not have great options in terms of bulk materials around here for compost and for topsoil specifically. I have gone and gotten big old truckloads of compost and topsoil in our area, and frankly, it's just not good stuff. It winds up being mostly sand, or it's not good for what we're doing right now. The compost that winds up being at least half sand or so is really good for some of the plants that we have here that auto reseeds or grows from rhizomes or bulbs. Those seem to do really well in the more sandy soil. I think stuff like potatoes and sweet potatoes might do well. Things that are kind of those root vegetables might do well in it. But for what we're doing right now, and the fact that we're trying to pack nutrition into these pots and raised beds, we needed something a little bit more substantial than what we could get in bulk around here. So I went and got a whole pallet of this stuff from one of the big box stores, and it has been great. So that's why I'm using the bagged stuff right now. If I could get it, a truck bed load at a time from somewhere, that's just loose and doesn't use plastic bags, that's what I would be doing. But it's just not really an option for us right now. So do the best you can and try not to feel too guilty about anything in particular. You know, like I said, just make sure you're doing the best you can and give yourself some credit for that. It's a lot. There's so much going on, and if you're doing the best that you can and you feel comfortable saying it's the best that you can, there's no reason to feel bad about that. So like I said, it's not my favorite option. I would like to be able to not have to use plastic so much on the farm, but it's something we got to do. And I would much rather buy it in bulk, a little bit cheaper, but I did get a really good deal on this pallet of compost, so I'm not complaining too much about the actual price. Do y'all have any tricks that you do that you use when it comes to bulk materials like this, especially potting mediums and that sort of thing? I know that people like to make their own potting mix, and I tried some of that this past summer, but ultimately the lack of bulk organic material and good soil in our area makes it really difficult to even get everything to make my own in bulk. So let me know if you have any tips or tricks, especially my folks that are kind of closer local to Alabama, because I'm so looking for places close by to us that do have good bulk options. Always looking for good options for that. All right, so let's put our last thing on here. I'm going to have to sign off here in the next few minutes because I have a turkey to cook for a family Christmas / Thanksgiving event that we've got today. We've got a couple of those events today that we're really looking forward to seeing family off the farm. And oops, did I forget to put, I think I forgot to put I did. I got to put my watering disc in between my layers here so that the self-watering stuff will work. Now, the self-watering would still work without the watering discs, just not nearly as well. What you would see is it would get really saturated at the top of these levels, and then it would leak through the bottom because there are holes in the bottom of each of these layers here. There are holes down here where it can drip into the next layer, but it wouldn't water as effectively without those water discs. So let's throw these tops back on here. And if you weren't around earlier when I said it, I gave a little bit of a nod to something that may or may not be happening this next week. I said that if you feel like you gotta get a green stock ordered today, you can find a link in the description of this video to our Amazon shop, and you can find the green stocks there on Amazon. But if it were me, and it is me because I am going to be buying some green stocks here in the next couple days, I would wait until Monday. And I would make sure that I am following Cog Hill Farm on all the social medias. So I can't go into any more detail than that, but Monday I will be buying some green stocks, specifically after getting some news and a tip from our friends over at Cog Hill. So won't go any deeper into detail than that, but Monday is probably a better day to buy green stock than today if you are a fan of Cog Hill. So alrighty, thanks so much for being here with me, farm friends. I hope that you enjoyed kind of this hybrid live situation here, this format. So basically what that means is I recorded some kind of lifestyle video all in one shot with my phone, and put that at the beginning of this video and played it for you while I was getting things set up, and then jumped on. So if you missed that first part, make sure that you go back and watch that. Let me know how you feel about the kind of hybrid style, because I liked it because it gave me a little bit of extra time to get settled, and it gave folks extra time to get online and into the chat before we started interacting real time via the camera. Instead, I was able to do some of that in the chat. So let me know what you think about that. If it doesn't make that much of a difference, that's not that big of a deal. If you don't like it, please do let me know, because we won't do as much testing with that. But if you do like it, let me know, because that would be great to know. All right, farm friends, thanks so much for being here. Y'all have a great weekend. Check back in with us on Tuesday for a full-length episode. We will definitely have some reels and shorts up on Facebook and YouTube over the next couple of days, so stay tuned for those. They'll be fun to watch as always. And farm friends, thanks so much for being here, and thanks so much for all of the support that you give us. It means the world to us. Thanks so much, farm friends. Y'all have a good one.